The statue of Emmeline Pankhurst is the first female statue to be unveiled in Manchester for over 100 years. In fact, the last one to go up was the famous statue of Queen Victoria in the centre of Piccadilly Gardens. Pankhurst was a revelation in changing the lives of women, as in 1856 the suffragette movement campaigned for women to get the vote as well as men, but her dedication to this was never going to be easy. In fact, when parliamentary reform was debated in 1867, the amendment to give the vote to women was rejected by 194 votes to 73. The organised feminist march named Reclaim the Night demonstrates that women still feel unsafe. As important as these kind of events are in regards to women protesting against sexual violence and harassment, in this day and age these kind of crimes shouldn't exist. Women shouldn't have to light up the night.
What do we want? Safe streets! When do we want them? Now! What do we want? Safe streets! When do we want them? Now!
The streets of Manchester are still regarded as unsafe for women.
What experiences made you attend an event like tonight?
I was a school child, I was in school uniform, I was on a bus and a man started masturbating on the bus while I was on my own, so we're on the top deck and I'm on my own, no one else is there. So as a 12-year-old child, what on earth do you do? And luckily I knew what to do and I went downstairs and I went near the driver and I explained to the driver what had happened and I said, this is my stop. And when I went to get off, the man went to get off, so I stayed on. So the bus driver worked with me and in the end I decided to stay on the bus all the way to Staley Bridge, which was 5 miles past where I lived, stay with the bus driver and then ask my parents to pick me up. So pretty much everything that happens in my life is associated, so something like this is a natural place that I'd want to be, to celebrate, to network, meet like-minded people and obviously to support as well.
We interviewed Dorothy, who is heavily involved in the MMU Feminist Society. We wanted to know why she chose to get involved with this.
Well, I mean, obviously, like with Reclaim the Night and things like that, there's been a lot of I don't want to say hype because I don't want it to detract from, you know, how important it is. She raised for a really strong female figure. My mum was like, she was really high up in the BBC and then she was like an MP for a while. And I think my dad left mostly because he'd never been as successful as her. So, you know, I've watched her struggle because of her gender, like, in pretty much everything she's done, but she's always managed to overcome it, but it cost her personal life. So I think that's something that, you know, is fueled by the patriarchy, and it's something that will always really bother me.
We interviewed Sam Colling, who wanted to know a specialist's opinion on feminism and gender equality.
I consider myself to be a feminist in all aspects of my life. I think that when you consider what feminism actually is, the belief in equality between the sexes, that interpenetrates in all aspects of your life, so it has an impact on your work life, on your social life.
How it happens has changed. I think there's maybe less people on the bus doing things like that because sexting, stuff on Facebook forums, that kind of grooming, it's very, I mean I'm 40 this year, so it's different what people have to endure, different environments.
There's religion that you can hide behind, there's lots of other stuff that you can hide behind, and I don't think it's as forward as we should be, especially in the year 2016. So to be honest, I think we're very, very, very behind as far as the UK is concerned. By pushing further, but it takes countries like especially Europe to keep pushing, because I think the more that Europe pushes can help especially women in other countries, and only till we keep pushing, until we still fighting, we can help others. Otherwise it will not change. No.
Oh, definitely. Like the apologies that you make for people who do things like that to you, like especially like girls when they're out, like getting like hit on and stuff, and getting like actually physically touched by people they don't know, and then they're just like, oh, it's just like, you know, it's just what happens. Shouldn't be. Should never have to say that.
Private funding from Didsbury councillor Andrew Simcook has resulted in the statue in Pankhurst's home of Manchester. To many, this is a cause of celebration for such an important woman, but are the causes she fought for still relevant in Manchester today?
But with the Pankhurst statue, I just feel like it's kind of a cop-out a bit, really. Like, it's like they're saying, we're giving you this statue, you should be happy about that. It's too little too late, really. It's 2019, it's still like many years off. Like, why is it that this is only happening now? And, you know, are we going to be happy with the scraps they're throwing at us? Or do we actually want to see real change?
I think that it's really interesting that there's not been a statue of a woman in 100 years in Manchester, considering the feminist movement that has existed over the last 100 years in Manchester, and thinking about like the amount of prominent women that have come out of Manchester, particularly out of the universities and that kind of thing. The fact that there hasn't been a statue of a woman in 100 years, that's what's significant. What I think is interesting is that the statue can raise those questions.
I love the link there as well. The link feels quite weighted and quite biased, to be honest. Is putting Pankhurst in the city centre going to stop all forms of sexual assault? No, it isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's a positive thing that she's recognised. We've got the Pankhurst Centre. Do people, are we celebrating that building enough, actually? Should the money put into the Pankhurst statue in 2019 actually be spent on supporting the Pankhurst Centre? Possibly, it's just come to my mind now. You know, we've still got a long way to go, and a statue isn't going to change that, is it?